Good morning, guys. It is Monday, and we have almost got this month knocked out. It is the 27th of February, 2023. Crazy to think, February 3rd is when the train derailment happened in East Palestine. And here we are almost into March, and not much has really changed, except that we know about it. We have the politicians certainly are having a lot of fun pointing the finger at each other. If they'd really get down to business, they would realize that this problem is decades old. Now, most recent reports, the waste being transported to Texas and to Michigan was halted. Where it's going to go, I don't know, but this changes minute by minute. I'm getting whiplash over here. But what is most important, we've already got soil problems, we got air problems, we got water problems, but we have illnesses. We have illnesses going on. Look at this clip with me. This is just one person's story. Please leave me a comment and let's keep this story going. This is horrible. Horrible.
Folks living in and around East Palestine, Ohio, grappling with the aftermath of that toxic train derailment. Some say they are not only currently suffering from physical symptoms after inhaling the chemicals, they're also now facing the stress of not knowing how it's going to affect their health in the future, 10, 20 years from now. It's a big question. One concerned Ohio resident, Mandy Bashirs, joining us now from Ohio, from her home, which is supposed to be a safe haven. Mandy, thanks so much for joining us. So you live about 10 miles away from this disaster site, and you and your 4-year-old son are starting to see some serious symptoms. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we live 10 miles, and immediately 2 days after my son, he started to have serious sinus and respiratory issues, and it's continued since. He he's been sleeping next to a cool mist humidifier, has been suffering from migraines as well as IVI. My sinus isn't as bad because I'm a little bit older than he is, but he has definitely been suffering from it. It's been hard.
Yeah. And then
I
when you see the pictures, sorry, Mandy, when you see the pictures of, you know, a cat getting sick, fish dying in the water, chickens dying that people have been, taking care of. How does that make you feel when the EPA tells the folks living there everything's okay, the water's fine, the air is fine? How do you feel?
It's unsettling. It's quite unsettling. I don't believe them for a second that the air quality is okay. I'm I'm the chicken lady. My 6 chickens dropped dead within 30 minutes to 45 minutes after they started that chemical burn. And them saying it was controlled, if it was controlled, they'd be able to control the oxygen to that. And it's in a wide open area. It has no control. So they are very much lying. They're full of it.
And I imagine, Mandy, there's a lot of folks down there that can't do much about it. I mean, it's not like they can pack up and go stay at a fancy hotel, even an hour away.
Yeah, we our lives are here, especially the people of East Palestine. They have their whole life there. There's residents there that have been there their whole lives, and now they're having to suffer from, this exposure, and they're having to uproot their lives for what? And a lot of people can't do just that because we're everyday working class people. We're not we're not multimillionaires, we're not rich. We work day after day to make our ends meet.
Yeah, it always seems to happen that way, where the people who need the most help wind up suffering the most. We saw Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, visit y'all this past week. And then the EPA has been there, and former President Donald Trump has been there as well. The one man that has not been there is someone who calls himself the comforter in chief, right? The president of the United States. Do you want him there?
He absolutely should be here. He made a vow to protect the people of his country, and he let us down on that vow. He would rather go to another country and give them millions of dollars when we have one specific community and surrounding communities that are struggling because of this.
Yeah. And just to follow up on your son, I'm just so worried about him. He's a little 4-year-old. Has he gone to the doctor? Have they told him what this could be?
They simply told me when we first initially went a couple days after that it was just a respiratory sinus infection. And now that they have the medical centers open in East Palestine, I plan on taking him there so they can evaluate him for themselves and as well as myself. Because normally, as a parent, you can tell when your child's going to be sick or he's getting sick. And he showed no signs. He, out of nowhere, has just had a hard time breathing, and he's had a hard time breathing ever since. He's been coughing, I hate to say it, nasty mucus. He can barely breathe out of his nose. He's been sleeping next to a cold mist humidifier ever since.
Well, definitely stay in touch with us. I want to make sure that we follow up and make sure your son is okay. So please stay in touch with us and let us know what winds up happening when you take him to that facility. Thank you so much, Mandy. Your voice is so important for all of us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I very much appreciate you.
Of course.
I'm Steve Ducey.